What first appeared online indicates that Offset was reportedly involved in a shooting incident in Florida following a physical altercation with Lil Tjay. But before focusing on what happened in that moment, it's important to step back because this situation didn't begin at the casino. It started much earlier with a financial dispute that had already gone public.
I'll tell you a true story. I ain't got nothing to do with that casino. He was popped. He was panicking. He was asking random people for cash apps. He was broke. I don't know what happened. Nobody was answering his phone call. He popped, trying to run up, chasing. Must got a gambling addiction. Yo, he just popped. He called cash apps in front of me. I ain't gonna lie to you. The first 5 I offered, I'm like, yo, you pop, you waiting for some bread? For my money. I swung that 5. You know how I get. He gets popped. Not us two dicing each other. He gets popped straight to the casino. Goes not. He get another loan from somebody else for like 2 bands. I don't even take my loan. I'm like, that's offset. I'm good on my money. I'm worried about this. Nah, mad, bro. I definitely run off for 5 bands.
Based on earlier social media activity, Lil Tjay had publicly accused Offset of owing him money and allegedly avoiding repayment. Those accusations didn't stay private. They developed into direct call-outs. Posts began circulating where Lil Tjay appeared to question Offset's credibility, even warning others not to do business with him. From that point, the situation shifted, because once financial disputes become public, they rarely remain just about money. They begin to affect reputation. At one point, direct messages between both sides were also shared online. The tone of those exchanges appears confrontational, with statements suggesting the matter was no longer being handled privately. Mentions of location, confrontation, and physical intent were openly included, and once that type of language enters a situation, it creates pressure. Because now the conflict is no longer contained, it's being observed publicly. Further responses attributed to Offset appear to dismiss the claims, while also raising the tone. The exchange continues publicly, with both sides maintaining their positions, and at this stage, perception begins to take over. Because in online conflicts like this, who steps back first often shapes how the entire situation is understood. Additional posts from Lil Tjay continue to repeat the same allegation that repayment had not been made. The messaging becomes more direct, repetitive, and increasingly public, which suggests that whatever resolution was expected privately was no longer taking place. But what adds more complexity to this situation is that this wasn't the only claim of this nature. Separate allegations involving another individual also started circulating, claiming that Offset had borrowed money and did not return it.
I need a favor. This is a test.
Wait, let's not skip over that. He told her to he still needed that. He still needed that.
So he was like, I did a favor and this is a test. I was like, okay, what? He was like, how much money can you get or are you by? And I was like, I mean, like I have I sent him the video, like all that money that I have in my safe.
You're rich.
And he immediately called me. He called me back and then he was like, bring all of it. I was like, I don't even know how much this is. He was like, bring all of it, because I have a ton of 20s and then like hundreds.
At the time, not now, currently.
No, yeah, no.
Because, continue, keep going.
Because now, so then he was like, yeah, bring all of it. So I actually did. But in my mind, I was like, I can't give him the 20s. Like, let me just give him the hundreds. He was like counting out in the car. I went to the casino, by the way. I'm not going to do every single detail and have this.
She's working on her 40-minute straight drive.
According to those posts, when repayment was requested, the situation reportedly escalated into tension instead of resolution. Statements were shared online suggesting threats and ongoing pressure connected to the unpaid amount. One post specifically mentioned continued concern and repeated attempts to recover the money without success. At this stage, a pattern begins to appear, at least from a public perspective. Multiple claims, similar structure, money borrowed, repayment delayed, conflict escalated. Now, whether these claims are accurate or not, the effect remains the same, because once multiple narratives align publicly, they begin shaping how every future situation is viewed.
What?
Okay.
Thank think shit sweet. Don't think it's sweet. Shit ain't sweet, mama. On my mama, it ain't. My mama, you think you seen something every time? Why did?
Okay.
That leads directly to what reportedly took place in Florida. According to available reports, both Offset and Lil Tjay were present near the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, the same location, at the same time. Given their history, an encounter was almost unavoidable. What followed appears to have escalated quickly. Reports suggest both individuals came into contact in the valet area where the situation turned physical. Shortly after, gunshots were reported. Law enforcement later confirmed that one individual was transported to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The scene was secured, multiple individuals were detained, and the investigation is still ongoing. What becomes important here is not only the incident itself, but the sequence leading up to it. According to circulating reports, Offset may have initiated the confrontation, although this detail has not been officially confirmed. What is being discussed is that both sides were actively involved, with neither appearing to disengage. Moments later, the situation escalated beyond a physical altercation when a firearm was discharged, and that's where the situation shifted from conflict into something significantly more serious.
There's multiple people in custody, and police at this time, they're working to try to figure out what led to what happened. A lot of things to get to. We don't know the current status of both rappers at this moment. It's been reported that it's a leg shot when it comes to Offset. And it's supposed to be a non-life-threatening wound. But at this point, because he was transported to the hospital, we don't know the full details, okay? Lil Tjay is a little bit more elusive. The good news I do have currently, but I'm gonna have to knock on wood, I don't have a death to report, which is good. But there was absolutely a shooting that occurred. It occurred at the Hard Rock Casino.
At this stage, official information remains limited. However, additional commentary from media figures suggests that both sides are being careful with their statements. Very little information is being shared publicly, which often indicates an active investigation. There have also been unconfirmed discussions suggesting that both individuals may have been affected during the incident. However, those claims remain unclear and unverified at this time. What is clear is that this was not a random situation. This was not coincidence. This was a situation that developed over time. Public accusations, unresolved financial disputes, increasing tension, until eventually both sides ended up in the same place at the same time without any resolution in between. And that's when everything led to a single moment. Now, the question is not just what happened at that casino. The real question is, was this situation unavoidable once the conflict became public, or could it have been prevented long before it reached this stage?